Oh, well, good afternoon. I just wanted to come on and give you a little update about what's going on here at St. Robert's in response to the coronavirus thing as we continue to try to make our way through this, making it up as we go. As we've said many times and many other people said many times, this is uncharted territory. We're doing the best we can. And thanks for all of your support, first of all, for all of us here. We're going to get through this. We're going to get through this, and we're going to come out on the other end of it, and we'll be fine. But it's going to take a while, and it might get worse before it gets better. So anyway, just to let you know about a couple things. Not anything really earth-shattering, but just to let you know. First of all, as of the end of work today, which is in about 15 minutes or so, St. Robert's Parish office will be closed, and our staff will be working from home. So if you have something to bring up with one of the staff or anything like that, if there's something you need or whatever it is, don't come in because there won't be anybody here. The telephone will be working, and we will be getting the messages that get left. So go ahead, and if there's something that you need, give us a call, and your call will be handled and dealt with. But you coming here to the office is going to do you no good, okay? Because there just won't be anybody here for it. This was a decision that Father Stillmonks made for the health and safety of our staff. As long as I'm on the subject of our staff, I'd like to give them a little shout out. Our staff here, the people who work here at St. Robert's, both on the parish side and on the school side, which is all one great big happy family, I got to tell you, they're doing incredible work here to keep things running as best as possible and to implement the archdiocesan directives and the directives from the governor and the mayor, all these kinds of things, to keep St. Robert's going as best as we can. To keep the masses being live streamed, for example, that we had this morning, things like that. We have a great staff here. If they heard me say that, they'd probably be shocked because we're a fun staff. We like to give each other static. There was another word I could have used, but I didn't. We like to give each other static and joke around and things like that. But let me tell you something. When it came right down to it, and we had this crisis to deal with, our staff really stepped up, and they've been carrying a lot of extra work. So publicly, I want to thank them for the work that they've been doing. Okay, that's number one. Is that our staff won't be here in the office until such time as we can safely do that again. So that's number one. Second thing. You know that all public masses have been canceled. But confessions, and we've had a few questions about this, confessions will be going on as scheduled. So, for example, tomorrow night we have an hour of confession scheduled from 6 until 7, and those confessions will be heard. There will be a priest in the church, and we will hear confessions as scheduled. Now, for safety reasons, those confessions will not be in the confessional. Okay, they'll be out somewhere in the church. And we're going to try to rig up a screen of some sort so that you'll still have the option of anonymous confession or face-to-face. But we want to keep an appropriate distance. And so that's going to mean some logistical considerations. For example, the people standing in line are going to have to stand far enough back. They don't overhear what the person is saying when they're going to confession, because the person going to confession isn't going to be able to get right up close to the priest and whisper in his ear. So we're going to have to all be mindful of things like that. But confessions will be going on. And then the same thing on Saturday. There's no Saturday night mass, which I'll talk about here in just a second. But there will be confessions at the normal Saturday times. Now, those masses. We have canceled all masses other than the ones that are live streamed. And that means this. That means that Monday through Saturday here at St. Robert's, we will be celebrating the Mass at 8:30 because that's the one that usually gets live streamed. And then on Sunday, we will be celebrating the Mass at 9:30. All other Masses will not be celebrated. Okay, and the intentions for those Masses will be rescheduled. That means that Monday through Saturday, we will not have at all a 6:30 Mass or a 5:30 Mass. Saturday night, we will not have the 5:30 Mass. Sunday, we will not have the 7, the 8, the 11, or the 12:30. Okay? But we will have the those Masses that are live streamed. But I need to ask once again, please do not plan on attending those Masses. Okay? And it hurts me to say that as much as it hurts you to hear it. It really does, because something about Mass without a congregation physically present. There is a sense, yes, in which the entire church is present at every Mass. That having been said, there's something about having the actual bodies in the pews that is very, very important. And so for me to say a Mass without people present is disconcerting. And I know it deprives you of the ability to receive the Eucharist. And that bothers me too. And it bothers you, I know that. But please, please do not plan on attending the Masses that we do celebrate here at St. Robert's. And the reason for that is this. If you come to that Mass thinking, well, it won't hurt to have one person there, then somebody else will see that on the live stream and go, oh, well, see, it won't hurt to have another person. Well, those people could come, why can't I? And then the next thing you know, we're going to have 50 people. And we can't do that. We can't do that. Not because it's against the rules or anything like that, because it's dangerous. There's a reason why we are limited to 10 people or fewer in public gatherings. Not just for church, but for everyone. So let me just make an appeal to you not to attend those Masses. Watch them over the live stream, over at the St. Robert's website, or on my Facebook page, the St. Robert's Facebook page. There's any number of ways that those Masses are being streamed. And anybody with access to the internet can watch them. And if you don't have access to the internet, maybe somebody in your household does, or something like that. But we're trying to limit the number of people who are together at one time. So those are the Masses that will be said here at St. Robert's. The other Masses with their intentions will be rescheduled, and the people who requested those intentions will be so informed. Please respect the Archbishop's prohibition on public Masses at this time, and please do not plan to attend the Masses here at St. Robert's. One of these days, and I hope sooner than later, we can lift that and be back to having our full Mass schedule and having the public Masses again. Just not today, okay? Now, a couple of other things come up as far as our liturgical life here at St. Robert's. First of all, people ask, well, what about funerals? Well, at the moment, we don't have any funerals coming up, and it would be fine with me if that would continue. But odds are it won't, and at some point during this whole thing, we're most likely going to have somebody whose funeral we need to do. But we have to limit the size of the funeral as well. So there are many options that we can look at. One is just quite simply postpone the funeral until everything has cleared up. Most people, I can't imagine, would want to do that. I know if it was my family, I wouldn't choose that particular option, but it is a legitimate option. Say, okay, Grandpa died, but we can't have his funeral right now because we're limited to 10 people. Okay, so we'll just wait until later. And that would involve either having the funeral home store the body, or having a cremation, or any number of ways that can be done. Another option would be to do the funeral now, but we would have to limit the congregation to 10 people. It's not an ideal option either. If that is done, we could later on have a memorial mass where we can have all of the rest of your people come for it and things like that. But for right now, that's what we have to do. Weddings, we don't have a wedding on the books until next month, but most likely we're gonna have to do the same thing with weddings for a while. Limit them, and then if people would want to, we can either look at a different date, or I know there's one wedding that we have where they're going to have the wedding as scheduled and only have about 10 people there. And then several months from now, they've scheduled a time when they can have a renewal of the vows and have the big hoop-de-doo then and all that. And of course, I'm always in favor of hoop-de-doo. It's almost as much fun as dip-de-doo. All right, Father, stop. Okay. Baptisms. I don't think I mentioned baptism. Baptism's the same thing. We can do a baptism, but it has to be a limited number of people there. So if you can do a baptism with a small crowd, we can do that. If not, we can put it off until later. And I know that there's probably somebody out there, but Father, what if my baby dies? And it's a morbid thing to think about, but we have to consider these things. What if my baby dies? Well, if the baptism was legitimately impeded by something like the coronavirus, so we couldn't do it at that particular time, and then the baby dies in between, God takes into account that's called baptism of desire. And so don't worry about that. Okay? And besides, your baby's not going to die, right, Lord? Right. Okay. That's what I've got for you today. Just kind of wanted to let you know a little bit about what's going on here. Oh, I'm sorry, one other thing. And that is that we're not having masses here. And so we're not having public masses, I should say. We're having one mass a day, streamed on the internet. But, we still have bills to pay here at St. Robert's. I mean, we need to pay the lighting bill and heating bill and salaries and things like that. We've got a whole bunch of teachers who are doing yeoman's work, doing distance learning and things like that. They still need to be paid and deserve to be paid. The staff that I just mentioned, they deserve their paychecks as well. Pardon me. And it's not like we at St. Robert's have the secret stash of money that we can just dip into. So we need you to continue to give during this time. We need you to continue to support your parish because you're our lifeline. And without your contributions, we're going under. And so I know it's a difficult time, and there's a lot of you out there who have lost your jobs or at least temporarily not being paid, things like that. We understand that. Okay. But if you are able to continue your giving, please do it. This critical time. You can talk to Chris Sneer in the business office about ways to do like online giving or something like that. The only thing that I would ask you not to do is bring your envelope by and slip it under the parish office door, because again, there's going to be nobody here to get it. So all I can ask of you is please give as best you can, because we need it. We need it to keep St. Robert's going. So anyway, that's what I've got for you today. We're going to get through this, folks. We are going to get through this, and we're going to be stronger when we come out of it. I'm hoping that this enforced togetherness in families has allowed you guys to reconnect as families. Because I know that can be tough sometimes when you're running here, there, and everywhere. Well, here you are now all under one roof. And I hope that that's an opportunity for you to grow closer together rather than to butt heads. And, maybe you have to do both. I don't know. But we're going to get through this. We're going to be stronger when we come out of it. I look so forward to the day that I don't have to talk to you via Facebook Live anymore, that I can talk to you sitting in the pews at St. Robert's at a regularly scheduled Mass. Until then, may Almighty God bless you, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Take care, everybody. Let's pray for each other.